because I.
Oh, hey, Shivani.
Hey Marco, how you going?
Good. You're obviously a little bit nervous to be live. Just
Yeah,
break the ice. Let's just
I get a bit of
get
stage.
straight to it. Yeah, we all do. What's up, everyone? If you do catch this, I don't think many people will be joining us live because I didn't announce or anything like that. But we're going to do a quick one today. Shivani has been having some pretty great results, and she sent me an email telling me all about them. And I thought, why not share them with somebody who could benefit? Sometimes people think that their particular issue is not solvable, and they think that they've tried everything, and it can be pretty heartbreaking and sometimes leave people feeling hopeless. So hearing a good comeback story is always nice. So I want you to hear Shivani's. Shivani, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how old are you? What do you do? How's life? What do you like to do?
So my name's Shivani, and I'm 35 years old. I currently work in property as a project coordinator, so a lot of construction, internal fit outs. I've been in the property industry for about 10 years now, and on the side, I work as a Pilates instructor. Movement has always been a very big part of my life. So Pilates is something that I've pursued in the last couple of years, and now I teach a couple of classes each week. So I've always been someone who's been very occupied with my time, and I like to keep myself busy. But at the best of times, I can be a yes person, and I take on a lot of work, and that sort of leads to stress, which hampers down just with breakouts and lack of sleep and just a whole lot of problems, which has probably led me to Marco and the team. But yeah, just the last couple of years have been really hard on me, and my body has been giving me signs that I need to slow down. Unfortunately, got to a point where I was breaking out into psoriasis, and started off with my back, then it led to my arms, and then it led to my face, and that's when it started to hamper my confidence. So I'm here to basically talk about my journey with Humanly Wellness and how they've helped me overcome my psoriasis, which has cleared up pretty much in 3 months.
Love it. Well, actually, I had a look at your initial notes just before the call. Our first appointment was on the 14th of August. So that's when I think first spoke to you. So it hasn't been that long. Now, something to note there, we didn't actually know at the time that it was psoriasis.
Yeah.
You thought at the
Pretty much,
time that it was eczema.
yes.
Yeah. And it's very common for that to be misdiagnosed. And they are very similar, but they are different. And a lot, most general practitioners and most doctors will only recognize psoriasis when it looks flaky. And anytime it gives a different appearance, they generally will diagnose it as eczema, which the treatment options are a bit different. So yeah. And I mean, what happened? So you, at the time you were having quite a bit on your face. I remember that was like a big,
Yes,
big thing. How is it now?
it's pretty much, it's all healed now. So they were like the size, well, on one side it was about the size of a golf ball, and then the other side was all along my jawline. You can probably see the outline of it now. But before it basically looked like third-degree burns on my face, and it was horrible because for work I'm always in front of contractors and clients, and Pilates teach I'm always in front of an audience, and I'd always feel like people were looking at it. They probably weren't, but it just always hampered my confidence, and I didn't want to go out. I felt my self-esteem was really low as well, and just felt quite embarrassed. And I find that at times when I was stressed, or if I ate something, it would trigger and it would like start to pus up, and it was disgusting. It would get like red and inflamed, and whenever that would happen when I was around people, it's just really embarrassing for me. So yeah, I've been to the doctor, went to another naturopath, and they give me steroid cream, or tell me to cut out certain things, and they just couldn't get down to the bottom of what it was. And I just felt like giving up at one point. And I was starting to get really depressed about it as well.
Yeah. It tends to happen, hey, because it does have such a big. I've had psoriasis. I had it on my torso, not on my face, but it does play a pretty big role, and especially in your confidence. I remember having my like jiu-jitsu uniform on, my gi, and obviously it's open, and sometimes I would cover myself up because I thought that people would think that it was contagious, and I was like, man, I don't want to go to training tonight. Yeah, it's a pretty it has a pretty big effect on your quality of life eventually. Maybe not at first, but it slowly takes its toll. So what happened with the doctor? What options did they give you? And then how is this different to other naturopaths?
The doctors basically were like, just monitor it, use this steroid cream, like just basically very generic advice. And it really put me off going back to them. I just felt like I got a couple of opinions and it was just the same thing over and over again. So then I decided to see a naturopath. I think someone at work must have suggested it to me at the time.
Mhm.
See if anything internally was triggering it, if I had any allergies. So I was seeing one in Sydney at the time, and yeah, it was just a very slow process. But it was the first naturopath that I've ever seen, so I thought that was just, that's how it was. It was just a slow process in general, a lot of trial and error, a lot of money spent. But yeah, at the end of the day, it just didn't really get anywhere. But there were benefits of it. Like I did learn more about your gut and then eating good foods that nourishes your gut, about the microbiome and how to balance it out. And um, yeah, I guess I developed healthier eating habits as well,
Yeah.
which where I saw progress, but no healing. I guess it was still it wasn't as aggressive, the psoriasis, but it would still flare up at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Completely gone. So I thought it was something that I had to accept that I would have to live with forever at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. What was different about humanly?
Well, from the start, I felt like humanly wellness they just asked a lot of questions and tried to understand my lifestyle in general, not just, what was happening to me, the effects of what was happening to me. It was more about going back to my younger years and understanding my lifestyle then, and what could possibly contributed to the environmental factors of what's happening to me now, which I really appreciated. I felt like I had a lot of one-on-one support.
Mhm.
Um, there was like weekly check-ins booked in, and even just outside of that, a lot of follow-up emails, which I didn't really get with the doctor or the other naturopath. It was more so you strictly book in your time, come in and see us, and that's it. Whereas I feel like Humanly Wellness, they're there from your journey from the beginning right till the end, which keeps you accountable as well, which I really appreciated, and just very knowledgeable. At first, you guys thought it was eczema, and then we did do a couple of trial and errors, and then very soon after, they were able to determine that it was psoriasis and got me the right treatment. And that's when I started to see results like straight away.
Love it. Yeah. A diagnosis, like the correct diagnosis, is half the battle. Sometimes just knowing what you're fighting against to actually get the results, right? And I think a lot of like we ask sometimes our questions can get overwhelming at the beginning because we ask a lot. um when did this start? What happened? When did you notice it? Was it a stressful period? What are you eating? Like it's a lot of a lot of questions, but the more evidence we have, the better decisions we can make to move forward. So that's kind of how we like to work. And um you know at the end of the day, like I always say to patients, you did the work. Like we facilitated the healing, we gave you the information, but you made the changes. You decided to not eat X and replace it with Y. And you decided to turn up to appointments and you decided to change and make the changes required. Chloe and I always say, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So congratulations to you. That's all your work. We were just part of the process.
Thank you. I must admit, when I had my first appointment with you and you told me that within 3 months it's going to heal, I didn't believe you. I was very skeptical.
Not many people do, yeah.
3 months later, I can't believe my eyes. I still pinch myself that like my skin has just completely healed and I can cover it with makeup. I'm confident when I go out. Like my family, my friends are seeing the progress and they're complimenting it. So yeah,
That's amazing.
absolutely blown away by you guys.
Love it. That's amazing. What are some of your biggest lessons from the last 3 months?
To be consistent and to believe in yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. When you don't see results straight away, it can be, well, not straight away, but like when you're making all these big adjustments to what you eat, which can be very hard, especially when there's not as much variety. And it can be tough. So just keep believing in yourself, push yourself forward, be consistent, and you will see the results. So that's been my biggest lesson. And thanks to you guys for keeping me accountable, because if we didn't have those weekly check-ins, I think I would have very easily fallen off in the first 3 weeks of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The support, I think the support is what most people need. We could easily give you like a protocol at the beginning and say, hey, Shivani, go on and do this and do it by yourself. But, we're human and everyone needs that little bit of extra support and that little bit of extra love and help along the way, because things happen and life gets stressful and you don't always get to fit in a meal, or you don't always get to, make the right decisions. So I really like make a point with everyone I wanted to design this in a way where people get a lot of support, a lot of touch points, not just on your appointment time, but outside of that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, if you guys end up working with us, like that's kind of what you can expect. Speaking of working with us, we've got Brody here who's commenting. He's saying, interesting, I suffer from this myself. Did you find that steroids only worked for a couple of weeks before it became worse? Did you ever try steroid cream?
Yeah, I did, and it felt like a Band-Aid solution. I did see a little bit of healing, but yeah, once I stopped, it just came back. And you're not meant to continuously use steroid creams as well. So
yeah, there you go. What would you tell someone like Brody who's watching this and going, "Oh, I don't believe that it can be fixed in 3 months. I'm not so sure. I'm not convinced. Or it's expensive, or it's a commitment." Like, what would you tell them if they're kind of on the fence?
well, I'd like to show you my before and after photos, if that might convince you. I actually look like Freddy Krueger. Like that's how bad it was. It's just like boils on the side of my face, and now it's just completely healed. So I can't. I've been to 2 naturopaths, and I can tell you, with hand on my heart, that Humanly Wellness, they know their stuff. They got your back, and they will help you.
Love it. Thank you, Shivani. I'd love to see those photos, actually. I don't think I've seen those. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, I don't normally. I mean, I'm the type of person who's like, oh, I don't have time for that kind of stuff. If it happens, it happens. But Chloe really pushed me to take progress photos. So now I've got a whole bank of photos, literally from my first appointment up until like 2 weeks ago, and you can see my whole trail of progress. So it's amazing.
Yeah. I think Chloe does that because she tries to get people to realize that they are making progress, because sometimes we don't notice our wins. And then when you have like objective evidence, you're going, oh, actually, I'm doing a really good job. When we focus so much on the negative side, and there is a little bit of psychology involved in the treatment, because when you're focusing on the negatives, you're driving your nervous system into that like sympathetic fight or flight. You're more anxious, things are more negative, and you kind of self-loathe. It's like, man, I'm never going to get better. And that affects your health, like in a physical way. But then when we have some evidence to say, actually, Shivani, you're doing really well. It's only been 8 weeks, and look at the progress you've made. I think one of the things that I try to do is start appointments with wins. Like, what are your wins? Let's reframe.
The way that
the way that you think. Yeah. So amazing. Thank you for doing this. Hey, I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure somebody who needs to hear it will. And thanks for being part of the journey and letting us help you. Thanks, Shivani.
Thank you, Marco. It's been amazing. Thanks again.
Awesome. And guys, if you need to chat, if you do have any similar issues, just comment on the video and someone from the team will reach out to you, and we'll get on a call. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.